Friday night before the Springbok take on the All Blacks in Cape Town. We're inside Newlands Stadium. I'm joined by supporters of SuperSport, supporters of Phaka. These guys follow SS Phaka on new media, so they managed to win together with the South African Tourism. Ntokozo are all the way from PE. Let's quickly touch on you, Sissy. I mean, what an experience just to be able to travel and get a chance to see the Springboks live here in Newlands.
I know, wow, I actually have had an amazing day. The Uzoli and his partner flew down to Port Elizabeth and we drove down since 4 a.m. this morning. We arrived about an hour ago. It's been an amazing trip. I never knew South Africa was that beautiful.
Let me quickly introduce the other guest. It's Nzoli on the right side, all the way from Pretoria, together with Angus, a local guy from Stellenbosch. You see a lot of people travelling to see Cape Town, and you guys are just fortunate enough tomorrow you get to watch the rugby. What can you tell us about the beautiful country in terms of just people travelling and then just being part of sport and coming to Cape Town?
Well, first of all, being part of sport and of rugby itself is an amazing privilege. I said to my mother earlier, you know, every match I come to watch, whether it be Currie Cup, Super Rugby, even a test match, is a privilege to experience. And, you know, I love my travels and stuff, so normally after rugby we go to Grand West, play bowling, we go to Signal Hill, we go to the waterfront. So Cape Town itself is a beautiful place and a beautiful city for travel itself, which is also awesome. So I quite enjoy that part of it.
Well, this man, Nzoli, you've travelled a bit from East London. You live in Pretoria at the moment, flew to PE. I'm sure there's a lot of friends who wanted to be part of this journey. Your experience of travel and just following sport?
It was a great experience for me to travel from Pretoria to PE. And then I realized that it was an eye-opener for me to travel from PE, driving through the Garden Road, and then to see the nice, beautiful sea, and then to see South Africa. It was very nice for me.
The Shotleft Springbok fans finally arrived at Newlands on Friday afternoon and were greeted by the SuperSport production crew. SuperSport Senior Outside Broadcast Director Sam Sejamoholo explained to them in detail what it takes to broadcast a test match of this magnitude. Inside the OB van, Sam explained how the action replays are put together during live matches. Then the fans finally walked onto the hallowed turf, Newlands, where former Springbok captain Jean de Villiers spoke to them about how special it is to play at Newlands for the Springboks. Jean also did the jersey handover and capped a memorable afternoon. Kaunda Ntunja then spoke to Matthew Pearce about travelling the length and breadth of the country following the Springboks.
I did one last year to the test match against Ireland in Port Elizabeth. I drove from Cape Town, and then on the way back I had Bob Skinstad in the car with me, so it always gives you plenty of time to talk about the game, to reminisce, to argue about a thing or two, make a couple of stops along the way. And I think that's one of the great things about this country. You know, you realise its vastness when you get on the road, and you can drive up this beautiful garden route from Cape Town all the way up to Port Elizabeth and beyond, East London. If you're really up for it, you can go all the way to Durban or inland through the Karoo. There's so much to see and do and enjoy as a group of friends when you're on a road trip. And if it finishes with supporting your national rugby side, so much the better.
What can the fans look forward to here in Cape Town?
I think what they can expect here tomorrow, as we've seen throughout the week, is a lot of All Black support, which has been in the shopping centres and outside the hotel. But what's also great about this stadium for a travelling supporter is that you can get involved in so much around the stadium, and most of the people will walk the final kilometre or two to the stadium because parking is not great. So you have to walk, and there's braai fires and pubs and bars and restaurants, and so a real vibe around the stadium. And then, as I've always said, you know, whether you go up the west coast on Sunday or whether you go east towards, you know, the garden route, there's just so much within an hour and a half radius of the city. So plenty to see and do, and we love having the visitors.
Matthew Pearce and I are hoping that you guys are having a blast in Cape Town.
Enjoy.
Let's quickly touch on the rugby, Ntokozo. I mean, the Springboks, it's been a bittersweet year. You know, we started off so well, lost in New Zealand, drew last weekend, and what are you expecting to see tomorrow?
You know, at this point in time, as a dire Springbok fan, I'm just, all I ask for the Springboks is to show up and do their best. That's all we are wanting as a country. That's all we can ask from them actually, because 57-0, it's still going down. It hasn't quite settled in yet. So I'm just asking them to come in and show people that they shouldn't give up in South African rugby. There's hope.
And let's talk about that. I mean, sounds like you've played a bit of sport. Every time player laces up or whatever sport you take in, nobody takes on the pitch to lose. The result goes bad. Do you think we're too harsh on the Springboks?
Well, if you think about it, it's the guy's job. So your job is obviously you go out there and you want to win. But everybody can't be winners. But all we can ask for the guys is give your best. I think results aside tomorrow, we want to see the Springboks being competitive up until that 80th minute. Even 81st, 82nd, should it go until that time. If we can be still in the balance within 10 points or 5 points, whatever the case may be, we can say it was a good test match. Whoever wins or loses, that's all we can ask for is a better performance and just keep it up there, maintain that standard.
Zoli, me, you, 50 million other coaches. If you were in charge tomorrow, what would you do?
Yeah, for me, first of all, I will encourage the boys to play the normal rugby that they know. And I will also, for me, to make sure, I will also make sure that the boys are in a good state of mind. Yeah. And then they forget about 57 loss. And so I will just make sure that in mental strength they are fit.
Okay, talking about playing the rugby, but you guys played with your fingers. You followed Phaka on new media. How does that go? I mean, I'm old school. Got my pen and paper. Talk to me about this hashtag.
There I was this one day tweeting through a Springbok game, and then allow me clash, and then I see a like, SS Phaka liked your tweet. I'm like, nah, it's gonna be a joke. And then I realized, I click on it, and I'm like, my favorite show on SuperSport just liked my tweet. Follow. And then, from there, well, I had been watching Phaka, and I feel like for me, it's very important that we cater for all South Africans. And I feel like Phaka, it being closer show. Yeah. I mean, you get to Tatuma Kajek, you get to put Gaunda telling you about Unwizi, in Pakindo's Yum Yum. In a language that as not. In a language that you can understand, a language you can relate to. You know what I mean? So things like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook give us a platform to voice our opinions as well as to connect with the people we see on television.
Angus, how was your experience? I mean, you went through Twitter, Facebook, what was it?
That was actually quite funny because I was standing outside, actually going to my next site with my job. And I was checking my phone and I saw Phaka followed me. So I followed back because I'm not very active on Twitter.
Yeah. You're like me?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Instagram and Facebook, but Twitter not that much. So they followed me like, okay, cool, I'll follow back. And I still checked and I saw like Phaka has like 600 odd followers and they only follow 143 odd people. I'm like, I must be special or something. But then it felt nice though, it felt nice, And then I got this message and they asked my contact details and Manla phoned me and next thing I knew I was sitting in Joburg in the studio and it was simply amazing to see and experience all of that.
Zoli, me and you must have done Let Her Hope or Please Call Me because I'm that guy. What did you do?
For me, I'm not a big fan of Twitter, but I've been following Phaka on Facebook. And then I enjoy the way that we communicate on Facebook about rugby. And then you feel like you are part of them even if you are not in the studio. You can always say something and then they will respond. So I felt like we are one family, and then even if you are in Cape Town or Durban, you can still talk about rugby and then they can still hear you and then they can still comment.
Zoli, Angus and Dogoza, thank you so much, and you guys hopefully enjoy your game tomorrow and your experience with Shotleft and the tourism of South Africa. Phaka, well, as I said, Zoli touch, it's like a family. They engage you wherever you sit on your couch in your own language, and they are across the show. So they've been around for a couple of years, led by Kawunda Ntunja, together with Mr. Makaya Jock, as in Yum Yum, and that's what they're about. It's Phaka, and right here are the winners of their new media competition via Twitter, Instagram. Just make contact and just chat. SS Phaka, hashtag SS Phaka. That it is for old guys like me. We'll catch you guys on repeat. I think we've moved on. We've gone to PVR. I think that still exists. Thank you so much for joining us. And hopefully the Springboks win tomorrow. And we'll catch you on Tuesdays on Phaka.
The day then ended with a trip to Gugulethu, where we visited the famous Mzoli's. Mzoli himself was there to give the fans a warm welcome. They then indulged in the delicacies that Mzoli's is renowned for, and this was a wonderful precursor to the massive day to come.
On the field.